My Kindle, please, the red band. So, we're putting together my usual Thursday night Zoom class.
You're muted, Mark.
I'm sorry. The for Kendra Prabhu, where our internet connection today is not the greatest. If you have problems, let me know. We may kill the video or whatever. And we have a kirtan group here, so we can have kirtan. And I'll need help with chat messages because I won't be able to see them on this little phone. We can continue kirtan for another 5 minutes or so. We always begin with kirtan. And only Hare Krishna, only one tune, only mridanga and kartals. And we can go till, say 5 after, or till about 5 after. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Background stuff.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jai Guru Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Guru Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
I own Mr. Raj, Purnamam Supri Raj, charge us soul to the subscription AC Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Ki Jai, Nama Charge Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Friends Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath, Shyam Kund Radha Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Navadip Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Ki Jai, Ganga Maya Ki Jai, Jamana Maya Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees.
All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Govardhanande. Thank you all very much. Some housekeeping. First of all, on that amplifier, there's a button that's a dial that says either echo or reverb. It should be turned to 0. Second thing is children out. And if you want, you can log on to this class. Go to jswami.info/itinerary. There's a link, and you can log on to the class and hear what you're hearing in the room. Children who make noise will be shot. So no children playing, running in and out, doing whatever they're doing. Let them sit in the other room, be happy, and you can hear the class on Zoom. Welcome to everyone here at the temple in Schenectady, New York, and welcome to all the devotees on Zoom. Whose child is this? And of course, the doors will be closed, I hope. Thank you. And if anyone wants to check and make sure that they got their internet connection, you can check and see that they got their internet. Okay. I don't think we need further announcements. There's, as mentioned, we're reading Caitanya Caritamrta. Now we're in Adi Lila, chapter 6, text 29. Yes. I'm going to just get the page. There we are. And if you have, and please don't use the internet connection in here for the class, or you're going to have everything double. It'll create problems. If you're in the next room, the internet in this room, no internet. Okay. And again, if you have problems online, our Zoom participants, let me know. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This chapter deals with the glories of Sri Advaita Acharya, one of the 5 members of the Panchatattva, the closest associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bhakti Upadesha Binu Tar Nahi Karja Adeva Namo Helo Advaita Acharya. Since Advaita Acharya has no other occupation than to teach devotional service, his name is Advaita Acharya. Om Agamitamidandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manopistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Trayam Upapadam Mahyam Dadhati Upadantim Ande Shri Guru Shri Chatapadakamanan Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagrashatam Sagana Raganatan Vitam Stam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savatutam Pradeshana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate
Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kamshana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hori Priye Vansha Kopatarupyascha Kripa Sindho Pyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasavi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama. One more note for those who are here, please just now take out your phone, check to see that it's in silent mode. If it's not in silent mode, please put it in silent mode. Anyone who hasn't taken their phone out, check to see that it's out and in silent mode. That includes me. Okay, everyone knows how silent mode works, I hope. If you don't know how to put your phone on silent mode, please bring it into the next room and let it ring there. Is your phone in silent mode? Okay. Good. So Advaita Acharya Prabhu is the associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In previous verses, it's been explained that he's called Advaita because he's not different from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Advaita Acharya is not different from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's the avatar or incarnation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he's called Advaita, not different from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he's called Advaita Acharya. Advaita because he's not different, and Acharya because he's teaching. Acharya means teacher. And what is he teaching? Pure devotional service only. He has no other business than to teach pure devotional service. Vaishnaver Guru Teho Jagater Arja Dvina Milane Hoilo Advaita Acharya. He's the spiritual master of all devotees and is the most revered personality in the world. Arya. By a combination of these two names, his name is Advaita Acharya. In our Panchatattva mantra, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Acharya. Purport. Sri Advaita Acharya is the prime spiritual master of the Vaishnavas, and he's worshipable by all Vaishnavas. Vaishnavas must follow in the footsteps of Advaita Acharya, for by so doing, one can actually engage in the devotional service of the Lord. Acharya means one who teaches, and specifically one who teaches by example. So we can see the example of Advaita Acharya, how he's teaching pure devotional service, and we can also follow in his footsteps. Whoever you are in touch with, teach them about Krishna. Charidakotahikahu Krishna Pradesh. Your friends, your colleagues, your children, members of the public, your relatives, everyone. Krishna Upadesh. Krishna Upadesh means two things. the Upadesh or instructions given by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, and teachings about Krishna given in Srimad Bhagavatam. This is Krishna Upadesh. So wherever you go, Jayadvaita, just speak about Krishna from authority, not just sentimental something about Krishna. We heard this, we heard that, but from authority. What we hear from the devotees who are speaking reliably from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, reliably from Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Otherwise, there's so many people speaking so much nonsense about Krishna. We shouldn't listen to them. We shouldn't hear them. We're not interested in hearing mental speculations about Krishna, sentimental notions about Krishna. We're interested in the science of Krishna, spoken by Krishna himself, or spoken by written by Vyasadeva and Srimad Bhagavatam. That we're interested in. Kaviraj Goswami is the authorized representative of the Parampara, the disciplic succession. So whatever he says has authority. So we're hearing from Caitanya Caritamrta, Srimad Bhagavatam. Kamala Nayaner Teho Yate Anga Amsho Kama Laksha Kori Dhore Nama Avatamsha. Since he is a limb or part of the lotus-eyed Supreme Lord, he also bears the name Kamalaksha. Kamalaksha means lotus-eyed. So he's Amsha, a limb, or in our body you have your limbs. They're part of the body and they're not different from the body. Ishara Sarupyapai Parishodagon Chaturbhuja Pitavas Dvaiche Narayan. Could we please close the door? That was the whole point from the beginning. If there are two doors, please close both of them. Why is that door open? That's a regular. Okay, thank you. Advaita Charja, his associates have the same bodily features as the Lord. They all have 4 arms and are dressed in yellow garments like Narayan. That means the close associates of Advaita Charja, they may appear to be ordinary human beings, but those who have spiritual vision, like Kaviraj Goswami, can see that they're as good as the associates of Narayan in Vaikuntha, because Advaita Charja is not different from Narayan in Vaikuntha. Advaita Charja Ishorer Angsha Bharya Tar Tattvanam Sri Advaita Charja is the principal limb of the Supreme Lord. His truths, names, and attributes are all wonderful. Tattva means the truth about Advaita Charya, as we're hearing from Caitanya Caritamrta, and his names and qualities. So Tattva, Nam, Gun. Jahar Tulshi Jale, Jahar Hunkare, Shwa Gon Shohite, Chaitaner Avatare. He worshipped Krishna with tulsi leaves and water of the Ganges, and called for him in a loud voice. Thus, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared on earth, accompanied by his personal associates. It's explained elsewhere in Chaitanya Caritamrta that Advaita Charya was older than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was on the level of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's. And he saw that everyone is doing nonsense. They're all engaged in materialistic activities, busy with their families, they're busy with their material intimate, and they're not interested in Krishna consciousness. They're wasting their lives either in sinful activities or pious activities, but they're not engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. So what to do, what to do. He thought if Krishna himself comes, then he can save the situation. So he prayed for Krishna to come. There's a verse he remembered where Krishna said, if someone just calls my name and worships me with tulsi and a little ganga jal, then I'd become pleased. So he was doing that. He was worshiping Krishna with tulsi leaves and ganga jal and calling out for Krishna to come. And so, responding to that call, Krishna appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jayadvaita Koilo Prabhu Kirtan Prachar Jayadvaita Koilo Prabhu Nishtar. It is through him, Advaita Charya, that Lord Chaitanya spread the Sankirtan movement, and through him that he delivered the world. Is Advaita Charya called him for that. Acharya Goshayar Gun Mohima Apar Jeev Gita Kotai Paibik Tar Par. The glory and attributes of Advaita Charya are unlimited. How can the insignificant living entities fathom them? And Jeev Kita, insignificant, actually, Kita means worm. How can a worm understand the glories of the Supreme Lord? Acharya Goshai Chaitanya Mukhya Anga Are Gangatar Prabhu Nityananda. Sri Advaita Charya is a principal limb of Lord Chaitanya. Another limb of the Lord is Nityananda Prabhu. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita. And Gadadhar and Srivas are also described in Chaitanya Charitamrta. Prabhu Rupanga Shiva Shadi Bhaktagan Ashtamukha Netra Anga Chakra Jastra Swami. The devotees headed by Srivas are his smaller limbs. They're like his hands, face, and eyes, and his fist and other weapons. Why is Srivas called a smaller limb? Advaita Charya and Nityananda Prabhu are Vishnu Tattva. They're not different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just as we have Krishna, we have Balaram. Balaram is non-different from Krishna. They're both Vishnu Tattva. So Nityananda, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, the Prabhu is Balaram, so he's also Krishna. Advaita Charya, he's also Krishna in a different form. Then when we come to Srivas, he represents the Shakti Tattva, or the Jeev Shakti, the living entities. In one sense, the living entity is also Krishna, not different from Krishna. But Krishna is great, and the living entities are small. Krishna is the whole, and the living entities are the parts. So the Advaita Charya, Nityananda, they're described as principal limbs because they're practically not different from Advaita, from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Srivas represents the living entities. Living entities are also part of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, also part of Krishna, but they're tiny. So therefore, they're described as smaller limbs. They're like his hands, face, eyes, disc, weapons. So they're also part of Krishna, part of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but smaller parts. In the Bhagavad Gita also it said, Sarvata Panipadam Tat Sarvatopshi Shiromakam. Sarvata Shritimal Loke Sarvama Vrityatishthati. The absolute truth has his hands, his legs, his ears, everywhere. That means the living entities. The living entities are also parts of the absolute truth. So our ears belong to Krishna, our hands and legs belong to Krishna, our eyes belong to Krishna. Therefore, they should be used for Krishna. So the smaller limbs, the living entities, they're compared to the hand, face, eyes, disc, weapon. Eshab Laiya Chaitanya Prabhur Bihar, Eshab Laiya Korin Vanchita Prochar. With all of them, Lord Chaitanya performed his pastimes. And with them, he spread his mission. Any questions or comments so far? Either online or in person? Any comments, any questions?
Any well, is that Advaita plus the Lord from any advanced divinity do that?
Advaita Prabhu called Krishna to come. Can any advanced living entity do that? Anyone can do that, but advanced living entities not on the level of Advaita Acharya. But certainly we can pray to Krishna, as Prabhupada was praying to Krishna on the Jaladuta, that if you like, you can make their understanding suitable. If you like, you can make their you can empower me to speak. That we can do. Whether Krishna will, or from another point of view, Krishna is already here. Kali Kali Namarupe Krishna Avatar. The holy name of Krishna is also Krishna Avatar. So we can chant Hare Krishna and pray to Krishna. That you please make my chanting sincere, pure, so that people will be benefited. They'll get your association by hearing the holy name. Is that okay? Anything else?
But I'm commenting on the question, I think the Prabhupada and our Gurujan, how they, whatever the desire they have, like everywhere the Krishna movement. So throughout the world, this center are there, the devotees are there, the temple are there. So the Krishna is basically everywhere. Just
Srila Prabhupada prayed in that prayer, Darij Balavan Paschate Tanta, that the desire of my Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, is very strong. So Darij Balavan, it's very strong. So Paschate Tantan, go don't get it out like that. So that the name of Krishna will, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will certainly spread everywhere, to every village and town, to every ocean, river, everywhere. So yes, by the desire of the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, by the desire of our Srila Prabhupada, by his efforts, and then it's not that Prabhupada's supposed to be the last Acharya, but we're supposed to follow Srila Prabhupada and also make the attempt. Prabhupada didn't have great resources, no money, no list of esteemed contacts, but he had the holy name of Krishna, he had the message of Bhagavatam, and he had the determination to spread Krishna consciousness. Sorry, it's not. Oh. Thank you. Am I back?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, thank you. We're back, but I have no idea where I was now. We were talking about Prabhupada. Oh, so we're also meant to spread the Krishna consciousness movement, not that Prabhupada was the last person and then the rest of us sort of coast along. We're also meant, first of all, to take it seriously, take up this way of life, Krishna consciousness, dedication to Krishna, and then spread Krishna consciousness for the benefit of others. Yes. Dharma Sarta Kori, what is that? Bharatubhumite Manusha Janma Hoy Lojar, Janma Sarta Kara Parapakar. Make your human life successful by Krishna consciousness and spread it for the genuine welfare of others. That we're meant to do. Prabhupada had such paltry resources. We have great resources. So with those great resources, let us try to do something. Yes, there's a hand there. Is that Tulsi Priya's hand?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes.
As you were, thank you. Please accept my obeisances. As you were speaking, I was thinking, you mentioned Prabhupada had practically no resources, and yet he performed such a monumental feat of spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world. And then you're saying we should follow in his footsteps and continue that work. So it seems like we think, wow, he did this monumental thing. What's left to do? But we don't really know what the result would be as if we followed in his footsteps. What monumental thing might Krishna arrange if we all really applied ourselves and spread it further with all the resources that we have. I mean, Mahaprabhu said every town and village, and we're not quite there. But it just, I guess I'm just saying that we don't really know what the result will be, or we can't fathom it, we can't imagine it, because Prabhupada did such an amazing thing with the little that he started with. But it seems that it must be something fantastic if so many people were to follow in his footsteps with all the resources that we have.
There's plenty of scope for doing more. It's not that all the work is done and there's nothing left for us to do. That's out of the question. Last time I saw a picture, the president wasn't wearing tilak, so there's still scope for further work to be done. Apart from that, Prabhupada also, it's not that he worked in New York for a year and then there was a Krishna consciousness movement everywhere with thousands of devotees. It was hard. Or it was simple. From one point of view, Prabhupada just did a simple thing. And he sat down, he chanted Hare Krishna, he spoke something about Krishna. When people came, he gave them prasadam, he spoke to them. It's not that there was a big, it went from 0 to 60 in some incredible fashion. It did, but the thing was, he sat down and he did the simple thing. He did what he's telling us to do. You sit down, you chant Hare Krishna, you speak something, you show them some books, give them prasadam. When they come forward to know more, you answer their questions, you teach them how to be devotees. So Prabhupada did that. And then gradually, one thing leads to the next thing, leads to the next thing. Not that we look and see what Prabhupada did and we say, oh, I can't do that, and so then I must do nothing. I'll stay at home with my family, watch television. But whatever we can do according to our tiny size, let us do something. And from that something, wonderful results can come. Madhavendra Purir Iho Shishya E Gyane Acharya Goshire Prabhu Guru Kohimane. Thinking he, Sri Advaita Charja, is the disciple of Sri Madhavendra Puri, Lord Chaitanya obeys him, respecting him as his spiritual master. So we heard that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Advaita Charja, was the age of his father, of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's father, so he was respectable from that point of view. And here we see that he's a disciple of Sri Madhavendra Puri. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the disciple of Ishvara Puri, who was the disciple of Madhavendra Puri. So that means the Madhavendra Puri was on the level of his spiritual master or grand spiritual master, and Advaita Charja was on the level of spiritual master. Advaita Charja and Ishvara Puri were both disciples of Madhavendra Puri. So Madhavendra Puri and Ishvara Puri were godbrothers. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the godbrother of his spiritual master to be on the level of his spiritual master. This is the culture, not just my spiritual master and everybody else, we don't care. But he was respecting Guru Korimani. He obeys him, respecting him as spiritual master also. Could we close both doors, please? I don't really have faith that one door does it, or that even one door stays closed all the time. Unless there's a reason to keep it open, let's keep it closed. Purport. Sri Madhavendra Puri is one of the acharyas in the disciplic succession from Madhvacharya. Madhavendra Puri had two principal disciples, Ishvara Puri and Sri Advaita Prabhu. Therefore, the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya is a disciplic succession from Madhvacharya. We have four principal acharyas, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Vishnu Swami, who am I leaving out? Nimbarkacharya. These are the four authentic sampradayas, Vaishnava sampradayas. So we're coming in the line from Madhvacharya. And Madhvacharya is coming in the Brahma Sampradaya. Ramanujacharya is coming in the Lakshmi Sampradaya, and so on. So these are four authorized sampradayas. This fact has been accepted in the authorized books known as Gauda Gono Desh Dipika and Prameya Ratnavali, as well as by Gopal Guru Goswami. The Gauda Gono Desh Dipika clearly states the disciplic succession of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas as follows. This is the same line that you'll see at the end of the introduction to Bhagavad Gita, as it is the line from which we're receiving Krishna consciousness. Lord Brahma, you go back to Ramanujacharya. Ramanujacharya is coming from the Brahma Sampradaya. The original person is Krishna. Then he instructs Brahma. Lord Brahma is the direct disciple of Vishnu, the Lord of the spiritual sky. His disciple is Narada. Narada's disciple is Vyas. And Vyasa's disciples are Shukadev Goswami and Madhvacharya. Padmanabhacharya is the disciple of Madhvacharya, and Narahari is the disciple of Padmanabhacharya. Madhava is the disciple of Narahari. Akshobhya is the direct disciple of Madhava, and Jayatirtha is disciple of Akshobhya. Jayatirtha's disciple is Jnana Sindhu, and his disciple is Mahanidhi. Vidyanidhi is the disciple of Mahanidhi, and Rajendra is the disciple of Vidyanidhi. Jayadharma is the disciple of Rajendra. Purushottam is the disciple of Jayadharma. Sriman Lakshmipati is the disciple of Vyastirtha, who is the disciple of Purushottam. And Madhavendra Puri is the disciple of Lakshmipati. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshinopitu. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, the science of Bhagavad Dharma, devotional service, descends from master to disciple in the parampara system. Any questions so far? So this traces it as far as Madhavendra Puri. Then after Madhavendra Puri come Advaita Acharya and the Ishvara Puri, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then further, you'll find it in that Bhagavad Gita introduction. Lokika lilate dharma marjada rakshon tuti bhaktye korentar chorana bandhan. To maintain the proper etiquette for the principles of religion, Lord Chaitanya bows down at the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acharya with reverential prayers and devotion. This is called Dharma Maryada. Maryada means etiquette. A cultured person has to act according to the rules of proper behavior or etiquette. According to etiquette, we have to respect our seniors. We can't treat our seniors the same way as our friends. Hey, buddy. Hey, Jack. Hey, Robbie. No. We have to honor them. We have to respect them. Those seniors mean the mother, father, uncles, older brothers, older people, and the spiritual master and godbrothers of the spiritual master. There's so many. So one has to know, how do I behave toward the seniors? How do I behave toward the people on the same level as me? How do I behave toward juniors? There's a proper way to behave. How do I behave toward the Lord? How do I behave toward the devotees of the Lord? How do I behave toward the innocent people? How do I behave toward the demons? All of these things are explained in our books, and one should know how do we. And then there are details, how to greet a respectable person, how to so many things, how to receive a guest. All of these things are there as Vaishnava etiquette. Our Bhakti Charan Maharaj was the professor of Vaishnava etiquette. He gave very valuable courses on this subject. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very particular about Vaishnava etiquette. He couldn't tolerate seeing violations of proper behavior. So he himself set the example. Advaita Acharya was senior, both by age and by initiation, generation in the line of succession. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Charanabandha bowed down to his lotus feet. Chaitanya Gosai ke Acharya Kori Prabhu Gyan Apanake Korentar Das Abhiman. Sri Advaita Acharya, however, considers Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu his master, and he thinks of himself as a servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is the relationship that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is respecting Advaita Acharya as his spiritual master, but Advaita Acharya is respecting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his own master. We find this also in Krishna Lila, that Krishna is respecting Nanda Maharaj as his father, even though Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He plays the role of the son, junior, carrying his father's shoes on his head. So here also, Nanda Maharaj never knows that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He doesn't care to know. Krishna is my son, that's all. Similarly, Jagannath Mishra, he didn't think, yes, my son is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He had a dream one night that some Brahmin came and told him that your son is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You shouldn't be chastising him as if he were an ordinary person. Jagannath Mishra said, whatever he is, he's my son. And if I don't teach him properly, he won't grow up knowing what to do. So Jagannath Mishra, Nanda Maharaj, they have that relationship. They never think that Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But Advaita Acharya knew it. He knew that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is respecting me as his superior, but actually he's my superior. He's my superior. Of course, Advaita Acharya is not different from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but still Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the original personality of Godhead. And as we were reading, Advaita Acharya is like a great limb of that personality of Godhead. So while Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is offering respect, the Advaita Acharya is thinking that no, he's my Lord. There's one incident told that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Advaita Acharya was becoming exasperated that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always, he's the Lord, he's always respecting me, respecting me, respecting me, respecting me. This is intolerable. What to do? So he began preaching Mayavad philosophy. He went somewhere and began speaking from some Mayavad Shastra, impersonalist philosophy. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard about it and picked up a stick and began chasing after him. People were saying, no, don't hurt him. He's an old man. But Advaita Acharya was very happy. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is treating me like an inferior. So that was his idea. This purport, I think, is a little lengthy. Purport still to come, and maybe we should deal with it in our next session. If there are still questions or comments, yes.
So, Maharaj, similar line, can you little more elaborate this and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu running with this stack and Aditya went in speaking of Mayavadi, because Aditya they want to see that kind of the Leela from the Mahaprabhu. The same way the Dronacharya, Bhishma Pitama, he was like fighting back and forth, and Krishna finally he took the weapon and he said surrender to, and this is what Bhishma Pitama wanted to see, that the Leela.
Yes. As Advaita Acharya took this Leela preaching Mayavad philosophy so that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would become angry and want to chastise him. So Bhishma Dev also, he fought so fiercely against Arjuna because Arjuna, Krishna had promised that one side can have my army and the other side can have me, but I won't fight. But Bhishma Dev wanted to see how Krishna protects his devotee, even breaking his own promise. So he fought, Bhishma Dev fought so strongly that Arjuna would have been killed. So then Krishna had to pick up a weapon. He picked up the wheel of a chariot to protect Arjuna. Kaunteya pratijanihi nami bhakta pranishati. My devotee will never be vanquished. So then Bhishma Dev was very happy. Yes, now Krishna's had to break his promise to out of love for his devotee. Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Vaidacharya showed respect to Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself. He is Vishnu. So all the expansions, they're subordinate to
Yes.
Lord Shiva.
Advaita Acharya showed respect to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because all the expansions are subordinate to the Lord. Yes, I think that may come in the text in coming verses. That even though Advaita Acharya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, still he considers himself a servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just as Lord Balaram, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he considers himself Krishna's servant. The Sheshanav is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, incarnation, but he's serving the Vishnu. Even Vishnu, he stole the sons of a Brahmin. You know the story? It's a long story, but we'll tell it shortcut fashion. There was a Brahmin in Dwarka whose sons were dying. Immediately after birth, the son would die. So the Brahmin went to the gate of the palace and he was bad-mouthing the king. That because it's a properly run kingdom, the child shouldn't die before the father should die before the son. So he said, there are no Kshatriyas in this kingdom. Otherwise, how is it possible? No one's able to protect my children. So, no Kshatriyas, not Ugrasen, Krishna, Balaram, there's nobody. So Arjuna overheard it and he said, how can you say that there's nobody? I'm here. The bearer of the bow, Gandiva, I'll protect your child. No, Krishna couldn't help, Balaram couldn't help, Ugrasen, nobody. No, I promise that I'll protect your child or I'll throw myself in the fire. Then the Brahmin became a little encouraged. All right. So when his wife was pregnant, he called for Arjuna, now you come, protect the child. So Arjuna made all arrangements. He had his weapons. He had some sort of protection surrounding the maternity room. Then the child was born, he began to cry. And immediately the child just disappeared up into the sky. And Arjuna's weapons also disappeared. He couldn't do anything. He was helpless. Then the Brahmin said, I was such a fool. I believed the words of this eunuch, Arjuna, this incompetent person who can't do anything. He's no better than any of the others. He's also. So that Arjuna, no, I'll find the child. So he went to every section of the earth practically He couldn't find the child. So that means he failed. But he'd made a vow, either I'll protect the child or I'll throw myself in the fire. So now he was ready. I'll have to throw myself in the fire. Then Krishna came and said, this doesn't look very, very good for me. You're my friend. If you throw yourself in the fire, then it comes on me. You come with me, let's see. So he brought Arjuna in his own chariot, Krishna's chariot. And Krishna has extraordinary horses. They began to ride. And they rode through the coverings of the universe even. The universe is covered by a layer of earth, a layer of water, a layer of fire, a layer of air, a layer of ether, layer of mind, layer of intelligence, false ego. Each layer 10 times the size of the one before it, and the first one is 10 times the size of the universe. So the horses were going through all of these dark areas, but Krishna was lighting up the way with his Sudarshan chakra. Then they pierced through the covering of the universe. They came to the Brahmajyoti, blinding light of the Brahmajyoti. The horses were starting from the glare. They rode into the Brahmajyoti, and then they saw that in one part of the Brahmajyoti there was a storm brewing. And in that they went to, there was, as I remember, an island, an ocean. Anyway, they came and there was a palace, and they entered the palace and they saw Lord Mahavishnu there, Lord Vishnu. So the Lord said that, yes, I stole those sons of the Brahmins just so that you would come here and I would get your darshan. So now you take them. So even Lord Vishnu is not different from Krishna, but still he wants to get the darshan of Krishna. So Krishna's Etechamsa Kalapam Sa Krishna's through Bhagavan. All the incarnations are part of Krishna or parts of parts, but Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different from Krishna. So we've come to the end of our hour, and we always end with kirtan. Those who are interested in attending this class, you go to my website, jswami.info. The link is online. We have Chaitanya Caritamrta every Thursday, Bhagavatam Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 o'clock. You're all welcome. So we begin with kirtan, we end with kirtan, so we can have kirtan here. And I think what we'll do, what is your program here? Now we're at 8 o'clock. You have RT. What's your schedule, Manjulamshi? So we won't have any formal sign off from our class today. We'll just begin the RT. Is it possible to see the deities during the RT? Yeah, it should be possible. We have deities of Gaur Nitai here in this small center, Schenectady. And we won't have any formal sign-off. We'll just have kirtan, and those online stay as long as you like, and we'll stay online either till the end of the RT or till our battery gives out, whichever comes first. And the names of the deities looks like Dayal Nitai Gora Karuna Sindhu. Am I right? Yes. Okay. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. And who's leading the Arti Kirtan?
Somebody.
Okay, it's all gonna happen.
I want to do yard game.
We made it. We made it through. Thank you. Would someone like to take charge of the phone? Yes.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. 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 Prabhupada, 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 Vishnu Paraya, Krishna Vishaya Bhutale, Premate Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Vikrinamine, Namo Vishnu Paraya, Krishna Vishaya Bhutale, Premate Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Vikrinamine. Namaste Saraswati Bharvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Yamare Pachachari Namaste Saraswati Devi Bharvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Yamare Pachachari Shakarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Jayadvaita Swami Srivasari Bhaktivinoda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jayadvaita Srivasari Bhaktivinoda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jayadvaita Srivasari Bhaktivinoda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jayadvaita Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,